So Jordan was born at 24 weeks gestation. He was born at 630 grams, which is 1.6 ounces at 2 months old. He could fit in the palm of our hand. And at 10 days old, we almost lost him. We had meetings with the doctors, and they told us, he's not going to make it. You need to repair and everything. And the little guy pushed through, and he got heart surgery at a month old at Sick Kids to repair the heart. That is a typical preemie thing to do. And after that, he spent 5.5 months at Sunnybrook in the NICU, and he came home on oxygen. Our first diagnosis that we had was hearing at 3 months old, and it was a devastating diagnosis. And I think now, like, at the end of the day, that was nothing. It's just hearing aids. Who really cares? And then CP came. He was diagnosed with CP because we saw that he wasn't developing properly, and we knew from a very small age that he had brain injury when he was so small. So he was diagnosed with severe quadriplegic cerebral palsy, and he had vision impairment also. So when he was small, he had surgery to correct his eyes, and at 3 years old, he had surgery for a cochlear implant, which was hard to get because they figured, what's the point? This kid will never talk. And I said, I just want my kid to hear my voice. I want him to understand music. And the moment that he was activated, I was the first one to speak, and he turned to me and started to smile. And then he cried, of course. But it was just unbelievable to have my child be able to hear my voice. And in October of 2012, he was very sick, just out of the blue. He got sent to Sick Kids for a really odd neurological thing that we didn't know what was happening. And he was diagnosed with a metabolic disorder, and from that time on, it changed our outlook on life for him. He was severe in all cases, and he never hit the milestones in terms of holding his head. He was fully involved. So our outlook became more of, let's not try to fix him, let's try to live our life with him. So we spent the time taking him to the sandbox and sitting in the sandbox with him, and he couldn't do it, but I would do it, and I'd be covered in sand, and we'd have so much fun. And I would take him to the grocery store, and we'd squeeze the fruit, and we'd just love life, because I just wanted my son to love life the way it should be, and not intensely do therapies, do enough to keep his body safe and keep his body active and all that, but just to look at him and love the life that we had for him, because we never knew how long it would be. And since then, he developed cognitively, he developed physically so well. Once we turned to just life as therapy, we gave him life, right? And he hated the traditional PT because he was not stiff. He was extremely floppy, and we used to just explain it. He was like a spaghetti noodle. You'd pick him up and he'd fall over. So anytime a traditional PT would touch him, he would freak out at them, and that's why we always said Jordan hated therapy. And any kind of therapy that you could get into him in terms of traditional PT, I would. Like, if I could convince him that standing in a stander was okay, he could watch cartoons, like we just kind of made everything fun for him. And we were just so proud to be his parents, and he taught us the meaning of life, what is quality of life. Our son technically could not do anything for himself, and I said, why would you have to do it if you have someone to do it for you? Like, that's the best kind of life it is, if someone's going to physically do everything for you. And he taught us, like, the quality of life is to be happy and to be loved, and he gave us that both. And people used to say to me, oh, he's so lucky to have you as his parents. And I said, no, we're lucky to have him as our child, that he chose us as his parents because he was just friggin' adorable, And I just wanted to tell how we got involved with PAL and 3 to B. So when Jordan was diagnosed at 7 months, I had one friend who had a child who was very similar to him. He ended up passing away 2 years ago too, so that mother and I now have a connection again, which is a horrible connection, but I feel at least I have someone to go through this with as a mother. And we met Dana at the second gala, and I thought, my God, if someone can look like that after having triplets and doing all this, like, suck it up, I'll be fine, you know? And it was just, it's a lonely road if you don't know anybody. It's very confusing, very isolating. You think your child looks like an alien, right? Like, your kid doesn't look like anybody else's. And so when Dana said, like, they're going to start PAL, the parent advocacy link, I was like, wow, this is incredible, because parents need each other. Parents need to connect with each other to make them feel it's okay. The hurt, the pain, everything that they're feeling is okay. So they started a Facebook page, and it's a very safe page for parents to write their concerns and their grief and their happy thoughts, and parents will support you, and everyone is there for you, no matter how severe your child or mild your child it is. We're all in this together, no matter if your kid has CP or any other of the neurological conditions. You're all trying to navigate the world together. And that has been huge for parents, because I've seen some parents who you think they're on the brink of depression, and the parents rally together, and it's like, you're okay, you can do this, you can get through another day. So that's one aspect of PAL. Another aspect was we received respite funding, which is the Give Me a Break funding, and we received it twice, and we ended up taking Jordan to Great Wolf Lodge both times, and I'm sure he hated it because he was such a princess. I think he liked the trip down, but he was very spoiled by going to Bloorview, who had a snoozling pool, which was very warm. So when he went to Great Wolf Lodge, and this is cold, he's like, what the heck are you doing to me? He only liked the hot tub, which is not appropriate maybe for a small child, but he liked it as long as the jets were pointing at him, you know, and he could have that stimulation. So we were able to take him and just be a family and not worry about anything else and just spend the time together. We were also given funding for therapy, which we use for conductive education. That was the only thing that I could find that Jordan would actually be okay with, because he would have to walk to get somewhere, then he could play. He would roll to somewhere, and then he could do something else, and it was always like he needed that reward, because he's like, there's no way I'm just gonna walk because I don't like this stuff. It's too hard, and I just wanna play. We also went to Blue Jay outings, the AGO Science Center, and the ROM, and these are just fun outings for parents to be together, remind them to just have fun, like just be a family, and who cares about this stuff, and just be together, but not have the stares and the comments from other parents, because you're all together and they can't stare at everybody, right? And so even through Jordan's death, it was posted on the Facebook page, and I had phone calls, he had emails, we had posts, we had everything. We had multiple parents coming to the visitation, to the funeral, just to be with us and to support us and to show like their love, even though technically they don't really know me. They just know me by what they've seen online and stuff and what they've heard, but they don't know our life. And it meant so much to know that they care about us and what we're going through with our son. And also, one of the mothers, she set up with a bunch of other mothers that every couple days we would be sent meals, either delivered or someone would cook for us. And it meant so much, because we're both chefs, but at the end of the day, who wants to think about cooking when you just lost your child? So it was so welcoming to have these meals delivered to us, so we didn't have to think about that, and we could just be the way we were. And these little things make such a huge difference. And that's why, in order to support these kids, you have to support families also, because they come as a whole. They come as, and I always figure, like, people had said to me, you're very strong. And I said, from early on, I had the support of my friend, and then from Dana and 3-to-B, and it made me feel okay with my situation. It is what it is. This is my kid, and take it or leave it, and whatever, right? Like, he was very severe, but he was lovable, and I was able to look past his disabilities and just see that he was our child, and we loved him, and that's no matter what. And that's why you have to keep the parents and the families healthy along with the children. And so I wanted to say thank you, everyone, for coming today, to take your time, your effort, your donations, because it makes a huge difference in these kids' lives, even to have all these people sitting here supporting these kids, because society a lot of times will tell you they're not worth it, what's the point? I've had people say, like, he's a waste of tax pay, like healthcare dollars, he's all this kind of stuff. And people like you who come to these things, it shows that, you know what, these kids, they have one nurse always told me, they have a beating heart, so they have a life. So they're totally worth everything, and that's why I wanted to say thank you for showing that support and showing it through Dana, so through 3-B, they can make a difference with these kids, not try to fix them, but try to just support them and give them the best possible life, because they're amazing kids. And Jordan was a huge blessing in our life, and he will be forever missed, but he will never, ever be forgotten. And like I said before, these kids are not blessed to have parents like us. We're blessed to have children like this. And thank you very much.